Hey guys, JJ here, back again with another Wednesday of Zoom networking, and I'm excited about this call, and we're just getting going. Our guest speaker today is just an unbelievably awesome young lady. I've had the pleasure to meet her in person in a few different times, a few different states, a few different cities. Um, can't say enough about her, how she impacts people's lives in a very, very positive way. Um, she's mother, wife, family person, business person, runs a family and a business at the same time. And guys, that's not easy. That is not easy. Um, and she's going to talk a little bit about health today. And the topic is finding ways to stay healthy as an entrepreneur. I'd like to introduce my guest speaker today, Shannon Northington. Shannon, how are you?
I'm so good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Hey, really quick, for those that don't know you, where in the country are you located?
I'm in Arizona, Chandler.
There you go. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, the home of spring training.
Yes, so we have a lot of fun here.
Yeah, we have to get down there again sometime. Samantha and I were down there a couple of years ago. Um, we were chatting before the call got started, and I thought, oh my God, we're dropping some gold nuggets here. So I had to stop that and get us onto the call. For those that don't know you, and I know you, a lot of us on the call, a lot of us probably watching on YouTube or from, but a lot of people aren't familiar with who you are and what you do. We know your name, Shannon Northington. You're awesome. What do you do in regards to health? What is your field? You were mentioning some of your background. Can
Sure.
you go back into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is actually in physical therapy. Once I had kids, I retired that license and then got more into the mind body aspect of health. And so I became heart math certified and then a somatic breathwork facilitator. And so now I still use that body work and that physical therapy when I'm working with people doing breath work, but I mainly work with high level entrepreneurs, taking them through these intensive breathwork sessions so that they can clear stress and trauma out of their body, so they can show up with more clarity and alignment in their life. And so I was just starting to explain to you these somatic breathwork sessions that you have experienced, and as you know, can be very, very powerful.
Oh yeah.
They get us out of our mind and into our body. And not just entrepreneurs, but pretty much everyone now, we are constantly in our minds. We're thinking, we're planning, we're listening, we're calling, we're talking. I mean, everything is done in between here, right? Very rarely are we connecting back to self. And can be dangerous because now we're losing touch with who we are. And if we don't have that alignment of our true self and who we are, then how are we showing up in this world?
Well, earlier in the we were speaking about what led in exactly where you are right now I was talking about the importance of relationships
Right.
and really relating to people and not chasing the deal, but chasing the relationship.
Right.
And what you do weaves right into, I'll just say that. So,
Yeah. So you were talking about the importance of gaining people's trust and creating these relationships with people. Well, that's based off of a feeling because around us, we have what's called our electromagnetic field. And it's something that's actually real and measurable. And in that energy, because we are just energy beings, is all of the crap that we carry. And we all carry
mhm.
it, right? We all have stuff. And people can feel that. And
Yeah.
so when you're able to manage it, because we're going to have it no matter what, we're going to have stress, we're going to have trauma. But when you're able to better manage those emotions and clear them out properly, then you're able to show up with more clarity and more alignment. And people feel that. And they're like, God, I don't know what it is about JJ, but I like his vibe. I want to work with him. I want to see him again. And so that can really help your relationships in your business
Oh,
and in your life. I mean, with your spouse as well.
oh, totally. A couple things I say frequently. There's nothing I say hasn't been said before. The world's been around a long time, but one of the things I always say is you don't market your business, you market yourself.
Absolutely.
And I think, pace is something is like your vibe is your tribe. And so what you put off, guys, is what, I say this all the time. We need to resonate with people. And we don't resonate with them or they don't resonate with us and things aren't going to move forward. So how do we extend ourselves? But
And then the
And
other part of that, and now being a gym owner too, I'm now married to someone who owned a gym. And so now I've kind of taken that on. That I've really realized is people let themselves go too. It's like they're not taking care of themselves, they're not eating properly, they're not exercising because they're so focused on making that next deal that that now is no longer a priority. And that too, now you've got less energy, you're not sleeping as well, can impact the business too. So it's like I always describe it to people, it's like a pie. There's all these different pieces of the pie of who you are. And it's like you can't neglect any of them. It's like they all need a little bit of your attention.
how did you get into this? I mean, was it just first starting physical therapy and then other things became apparent to you?
No, I think like most people, something bad usually happens, right? And then you kind of look and you say, why did this happen to me? And then years later, you look back and you go, oh, that's why. So I actually got really, really sick, kind of out of the blue with a autoimmune disease. And I was diagnosed with POTS, which is basically you're a walking panic attack. I was having panic attacks throughout the day, throughout the night. My nervous system was just shot. And so I had to take a step back and look at my life and think, I don't want to live like this anymore. What do I need to do to make a change?
Wow.
And so I went down that healing journey, trying to figure it out, and really dove deep into the nervous system and how neglecting yourself for such a long period of time can impact you. And if you're not going to slow down, your body's going to force you to slow down. And that's just the reality of it.
Rob Howdigy, you're on with Shannon Northington. What's your question?
Hey, JJ. Shannon, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, you're really down a path right now that really inspire me of wellness.
Mhm.
With that said, I'm a new investor, but I've had some real health challenges for the last for a good amount of years. So with that said, I'm back on track again, slowly but surely. I've incorporated working out again for at least about a month now, pretty consistently. I'm feeling very good, but I'm very driven with what I'm doing with my business now. So I'm up very early. I'm up 3 to 4 a.m. nonstop every day. I put myself to bed at 9 so I can get a sufficient amount of sleep.
Good for you.
But with that said, I try to start my day off with when we're talking about wellness. Really working out. I have my own little session that I do every day, but I'm finding that already being cumbersome because I just don't want it to always be set that way. And I just want to know. I mean, did you find yourself? Is it more beneficial to exercise at certain times of day, where you're peaking, where it'll maybe elevate you to another level?
Sure. That's a great question. In terms of science, no, there's not a specific time of day that would be better. Your cortisol is actually highest in the morning. So it's starting to rise in the morning and it peaks like right around noon. So like that stress hormone helps people get motivated to work out in the morning. So that's oftentimes when you wake up and you kind of have that like rush of energy, it's like, yeah, let's go, let's get this done. But I think it's fabulous that you've found a routine. And in terms of feeling cumbersome, what do you mean by that? Like it's becoming monotonous, like
No,
boring?
not monotonous, meaning and maybe I shouldn't have used cumbersome. Just meaning, I'm dedicated to and being consistent on a daily,
Right.
but I'm just trying to think to myself, okay, maybe should I switch it up and
No.
maybe incorporate my workout during the middle of the
If you find a formula that works for you, stick with it. Like, don't
day?
overthink it. The fact that you feel good and now you've created this routine and this habit, stick with that. If you wanted to, maybe like if do you have off days? Like, do you go every day or do you have a couple off days?
Oh no, I go Monday through Friday at this point.
Yeah. So, I mean, even if you started getting burned out, you might want one or two of those mornings to become like a breath work morning or a
Mhm.
meditation morning where instead of doing a workout, you're doing some breath work or you're doing meditation.
Okay, so I'll stop
And
you right there. Meditation. Who do you suggest? What do you suggest?
yeah, so it is so easy now. You can download literally any app. You type in meditation app and
Mhm.
I really haven't found a bad one. Breathe is one of my favorite ones. Calm is another one that a lot of people use. And those are great resources. Often within there too, you can, depending on how you feel that day, do you want a meditation to kind of encourage you and give you more energy, or do you want a meditation to kind of like de-stress and calm down? And you're going to have to
Yeah.
touch to yourself and say, what is it that I need today? And start listening to what your body needs. But yeah, if you have a routine and you're feeling good, don't switch it up.
Okay, no, I appreciate that, but you just really yeah, opened something up right there, just saying listen to what my body's basically asking for, opposed to
And it's I stress that to people because it literally takes 1 minute of just slowing down, checking in. How is Shannon feeling today? Gosh, I feel a little bit anxious. Okay, I'm going to take a few minutes and I'm going to do XYZ. I have certain breath works that I like to do to kind of calm me down. But then there's other days, where you wake up and it's like, I didn't sleep good last night. We had a late night with the kids. I am exhausted. I need energy. Okay, I'm going to do this instead, right? So, yeah, tapping into yourself is so key.
okay, well, hey, I appreciate that. I know you deal with high-end entrepreneurs, so whenever you're having those pro bono days, you reach out to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to start doing, I haven't been doing virtual sessions. I've been doing so many in person. I've actually done a lot for Pace Morby's group and Jamil and all them. Yeah. But I'm going to start doing virtual breath works. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll start seeing that pop up where I'll be doing once a month virtual breath work on
Oh,
there.
nice, nice. And I'm sure you guys will promote it by the end of this call, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Shane, you talking about breathing and also the meditation, caught my attention right off the bat. And as you said, we're all stressed out. We're all trying to get work done. And I don't know, for me, sometimes I just want to get to work so quickly that I just don't go to the gym and I
Right.
don't exercise. And I realize I'm a little bit older. I'm not 22 anymore. So having exercise in my routine is definitely important. And I think, having you on today is just going to just reinforce for me the things that I need to do to take
Yeah.
care of my body. We talk about, like being on an airplane, you got to put your own oxygen mask on before you can help somebody else.
Right.
And that means take care of ourselves. The meditation thing is huge because that just allows us to get more in tune with ourselves, right?
Right. And so many people are intimidated, I think, by meditation or even breath work. They're like, I can't turn my mind off. There's no way I could ever do that. And so that's why I always prefer different types of breath work rather than saying, okay, I'm just going to sit here quietly and see what happens. With breath work, it's action, right? You're taking an action. And there's oftentimes counts that you're following as you're doing it. And so it's like, it's easy for your mind to kind of go off when you're meditating, but I feel like in breath work, it just kind of keeps you on track. And the latest science that just came out, I read this yesterday and I was fascinated by it. HP Foundation just came out and said that there is no extra benefit after 5 minutes of breath work. So you literally only need 5 minutes a day to give yourself. Yeah, it's like who doesn't have 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I guarantee you can take 5 minutes away from social media and do some breath work and move on with your day. So I thought
definitely.
that was crazy because for a long time they were saying 20 minutes and now it's
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
and again, we can all fit that in. Should that breath work, say we are going to the gym, is it something
Yep.
we should do before we go to the gym, or maybe we get home from the gym and we're winding down?
Yeah, I mean, that's everybody's different. Again, you're going
Yeah.
to have to find your recipe and what works for you. So some people like right when they pop out of bed, like literally on the edge of their bed, they just like to do their breath work and get it done because it's like they're there. They don't get distracted by everything else that's going on in the house. Other people have a routine where they go to the gym and then at the end of the gym, they're going to stretch and sit in a sauna and then do their breath work or whatever. But I know life as a busy entrepreneur and you don't have a ton of time.
Correct.
So find what works for you. If it's right before bedtime, if it's right when you wake up, I always say you got to create your own recipe.
There you go. We've been talking about, not only just the breath work and along with health is exercise.
Yes.
And it's something that a lot of us don't always do. And it's important to be fit. And obviously, as we get older, our bones get a little bit stiffer, our muscles aren't as resilient.
Right.
And so it's important to have an exercise program. And you have just married a guy that is an exercise, I'll just
Guru.
say guru, God,
Yeah.
and he's on the call right now. Can we bring him on?
Yeah, I would love that.
Let's bring him on right now. Eric, welcome to the call today. How are you?
I'm great for having me.
Oh, hey, my pleasure. Hey, I've been following the two of you on Instagram for a while and some of your journeys, and congratulations on getting married.
Thank you. Thank you. It was absolutely amazing.
So, obviously we're talking about different aspects of health today. Um, I'm just going to ask an exercise question because you're an exercise guy. Exercise and breath work obviously go together. Um, we're talking about when to work out, and Shannon says everybody's different. Silly question here. How important is exercise to maintain our mind body, equilibrium?
Oh, I mean, it's everything. I mean, if the only way you're going to extend your life is with movement. So, not everybody's plan needs to be the same, but everybody needs to find the type of movement that is going to be able to keep them going. And as we age, there's nothing better for longevity than resistance training. It's especially as you start to get older. Just keeping that lean tissue on the body, it helps your metabolism going. It helps keeps your bones strong. It keeps you from falling and hurting things. Um, and it just makes you feel better. I mean, it's kind of like the science with the breath work. Like it's just going to make you feel better. The chemical that is released into your body when you.
I bet, yeah. No, I think you guys have it great, right? Because you're both in the fitness health industry. So I'm sure, Shannon, you're sharing things with Eric, and Eric sharing things with you guys, and that just has to
Absolutely.
be pretty wonderful. Now, you guys are co-owners in a gym right now?
Yes, we have a space here in Gilbert, Arizona. It's kind of like a hybrid big box personal training space. It's kind of a unique space. Started with personal training. I've been doing this for like 18 years now. Third location, we've just gotten bigger, 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 and now we have a space large enough that I'm offered with it. We are able to offer an actual like open like gym membership as well. So it's nice. It keeps the energy high in the place. You got some people coming in working out on their own, some people in working with the trainers, doing some group stuff. It's a cool space.
That's fantastic. So you guys actually have a website to that effect of working together. I believe that's Northington Fit Couple, right?
That's our
Uh,
Instagram. Yep. Northington Fitness is the website.
Yep. Northington Fitness is the website. We have started doing some things together as well. And then into the online space, we have NFN Online. That way we can really we've been able to help people, all over the country, all over the world. I got a couple firefighters in the UK. I have a lady in Australia, all across the United States. So it's been nice to be able to widen the range of people that we're able to help here now.
And that really is something I wanted to ask you about. I didn't know how to ask it because my experience has always been go to the gym right down the street, around the corner, get in
Yep.
your car, drive there. Are you able to provide some kind of consultation to people in different locations?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So whether it be just training, whether it be training and nutrition, the whole because again, everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different. Um, some people are able to get it in with some dumbbells at home. Some people, their goals may be a little bit different, and they're going to need to find an actual gym with more equipment in it. But either way, we definitely have the ability to do consults with people to get them set up on the right plan, you know, anywhere in the world.
So I believe this is the Northington Fitness, right? The one right here.
Yep.
So people could just sign up. I think it's great. You guys are actually an ideal couple because obviously you're pretty fit yourself, just a little bit. And a pleasure to really have you on. And if I didn't clearly do it earlier, I'd like to make an official online social media introduction of the new Mr. and Mrs. Eric and Shannon Northington. So
Yay.
Thank you so much.
welcome to the call. No, and thank you. I was introducing Shannon earlier, someone I met a couple of years, few years, 2, 3 years ago at one of the investment functions, and I was explaining that I happened to see her on stage, and very impressive. She was introduced, and to my dumb luck, a couple hours later, we're in the elevator together, and I struck up conversation and met her again in Boston, again in Arizona, and as I tell my networking group, when you have the opportunity to meet someone who is of any notoriety, much less just someone who's a nice person, to reach out and try and build a relationship and see if you can resonate with one another and become friends. And I'm very honored to call Shannon a friend and now yourself. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, no, great to meet you. Always love being able to be in the position to meet new people and just expand network and find people to where you can help each other.
Well, maybe I know you're busy. You're working all the time. Maybe we can get you on sometime. We'll just talk about weight training and fitness and some of the online opportunities people might have to engage with yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Would love that.
Great. Hey, Eric, thanks for joining us. We're going to get back to the missus there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
He's a great guy. That was great. Okay,
Yeah, he's awesome.
we had a couple questions here that were in the queue. Let's see if we can't get to these people here. James Pecora, you are on with Shannon Northington. What's your question?
Hey Shannon, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Can you explain a little bit what the mind mapping is? You kind of blew right through that, and I'm very curious about that. I understand the somatic breathing, but I'm curious about the mind mapping.
Mind mapping or heart math?
Heart map. Thank you.
Yeah. I was going to say mind mapping is cool too, but that is definitely not my expertise. But my son has done it and it's pretty awesome. But heart math, you can also look that up on Instagram. It's a pretty powerful technique. Our heart actually has its own brain. Okay. So I like to explain it as two different radio signals going off. You have the radio signal coming from your brain, and then you have the radio signal coming from your heart. And the simplest way to think about it is that the radio signal coming from your heart is the most truest, authentic of yourself. Okay. Our brain is kind of bogged down with limiting self-beliefs and all these stories and traumas that are located in our subconscious. But our heart is our true self. And so when you're able to get those radio stations in a congruent pattern, learning how to connect the two together and working from more of your heart center, you're able to then show up with a different heart rate variability, which just basically means with more alignment. And again, that's going back to what people feel and what you feel. You're going to feel more centered. You're going to feel more clear, more focused, able to make better decisions, able to know what that next best step is, probably less likely to trigger. So, with your significant other or maybe children, how sometimes we just have days where it doesn't matter what happens. You're just like pissed off right away, right? We're easily triggered. Our nervous system's elevated. We're working from our head space and not our heart space. So the technique actually, if you get into heart math and you start studying it and doing it, it's repetition. And so you practice it when you're in the shower, when you're on the toilet, when you're brushing your teeth, when you're in the car, and you just practice thinking and feeling from your heart instead of your mind. And then what happens is that neural pathway starts to build, right? Because our brain is malleable, it's changeable. And so as those neural pathways start to build, it becomes a quick path so that I'm able to get to that heart space much faster than I was before I practiced. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Yep. It's really fascinating stuff. And it's so funny because I remember when I was taking the certification, I was like, God, this seems so silly. Like, this is so simple, but okay, like I'll do it. You're trying. I'm like, am I just like thinking that this is something that's going to work when it's really just a bunch of like woo-woo stuff? But these guys are all based out of like Stanford and Harvard, and they've got like the greatest scientists like hooking the brain and the heart up to like all these machines and actually science-based medicine, which is my favorite.
Yeah, I actually got my LNP license back in 2008. So a lot of what
Oh,
you were hitting on was bringing back a lot of memories for me. It was very
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, so
Oh, you would love it then. Follow them on Instagram. You'll
yeah,
probably dive right in.
we'll do. Thanks a bunch,
Yeah.
Shannon. Appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
Naomi, you're on with Shannon Northington. What's your question?
Hi, Shannon. So I am like a health nerd myself, and I followed lots of great thought leaders like Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I did also learn about heart math and heart brain coherence, which served me very well because I was facing a lot of nervous system dysfunction, and I had to get them to sync back up again.
Wow.
My breathing was way off, my heart was way off. So, but my question for you, have like more of like a twofold question. But with your experience with physical therapy, so what I realized, incorporating the breath work was great. It was powerful along with the meditation. But then I discovered neuroactivation, which incorporates movement as well. And so once I started incorporating movement, that really kept me in more of a flow state all day, in a longer stretch of time. So have you looked into that or thought about incorporating some movement as well?
Absolutely. And I do. So in my in-person sessions, incorporate body work when I'm working with someone. But oftentimes the reason why that is working for you and other people is trauma is actually held at a cellular level in our bodies. You probably know that. And so when we're moving, actively moving, we're helping facilitate the movement of that out. And so, yeah, that can be a wonderful practice. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and then the second part is what is your like favorite go-to practice that you could just not do without?
Like thinking about it. Yeah. And I do it a lot in the car. My favorite one is breathing in through the nose for 4, holding for 4, and then out through the mouth for 8. And that one, because I typically tend to run, I'm type A, I'm in that fight or flight space. And so I'm trying to get that parasympathetic nervous system to kick in. And so when you lengthen your exhale, that parasympathetic nervous system is being activated. I think another one that a lot of people now it's kind of gone viral is the physiological sigh. If you follow Huberman Lab, he talks about that all the time, where it's 2 big inhales and then it's like that active sigh sound out. That one's really easy for me to do as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Another thing too that I've incorporated and I found very helpful is vagus nerve exercises. So
Mhm.
that also opens up like the whole body and the chest and everything, so you can
Yeah,
take better breath,
absolutely.
and I've
That
definitely
vagus nerve
seen,
controls it all.
yeah, definitely
Yeah.
seen a huge improvement
So if
incorporating
you
that so
if
I can
you
do
like
better breath.
if you like vagus nerve stuff, have you ever tried humming or
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
So the hum that stimulates that vagus nerve right here, and oh, that can be great too.
I do actual like physical exercises, like just little manipulations to the body, simple enough for people to learn. And I'm
Yeah.
going to be actually teaching that in our facility as well.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
But thank you for your wonderful nuggets of wisdom. And it's been a pleasure listening and learning from you.
Thank you. And good luck to you. That's exciting.
4 through the nose and 8 seconds. Can you explain that? What is that? Is that
Yep.
4 breaths or 4 seconds or?
Yeah. So 4 seconds, count of 4, but it can be any 4. Like it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be watching a watch or a clock, right? It's just your count of in for 4, hold for 4, out for 8.
Oh, okay.
So, like I was saying, when the exhale is longer than the inhale, you're activating that parasympathetic nervous system. That's the rest and digest part of our nervous system, which is the complete opposite of the sympathetic nervous system when we want to go fight the bear, right? So, we have these 2 opposing parts of our nervous system. One, we're going to fight the bear, and one, we're going to sleep, rest, and digest. And so, as entrepreneurs, we typically live in the fight the bear place, right? Because we're go, go, go. All right. But we have to train our nervous system how to also balance and activate that parasympathetic nervous system so we can come back down to baseline.
Oh, that makes so much sense for me. Many years ago, I was gosh, like 40 plus years ago, I was actually training for the U.S. Olympic boxing pre-trials.
Cool.
And the U.S. Olympic Committee decided to boycott the Moscow Olympics. So that dream kind of went poof. But the guys I've been training with, we decided to train to join the Navy SEALs.
Okay.
And so, we didn't know much about the SEALs except for we had to kick our training regiment way higher than it was.
Right.
And a lot of what I was getting into at that time was breathing,
Mhm.
was slowing my breath down and taking my metabolism down. And does that somewhat relate to what you're talking about as well, to
Oh,
control the
absolutely.
body and
Yeah. And when we're in that heightened state of like alertness, we don't think as clear. Our body now, all it cares about is keeping itself safe. And so when you are learning to be a fighter, and this is true for like police officers, firefighters, they have to learn how to stay in that calm space, even though there's just a shitstorm going on, right? And so it's no different than working out in the gym. You have to train your nervous system. You have to work it out so that it knows how to stay calm in stressful situations. And it's just commitment and practice.
it's crazy. It's nothing I've ever done intentionally or trained for, but whenever I'm in a panic crisis situation and there's an accident or things are going on, a horse jumped over a cliff, we had to airlift with the helicopter at 5 in the morning. Um, whenever everybody's losing their cool, I'm the one that's calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah.
And then once everything's resolved and everything's good and everybody calms down,
Yeah.
that's when I lose it.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
God, did that really happen? Did that really happen?
You're just completing the loop though. Like that's a normal response. A normal trauma response is you want to complete that loop. Because so oftentimes actually people hold it together and they hold it all in, and then that's it. They don't allow themselves to lose it.
Mhm.
And that's where that gets trapped in our bodies. And so, if you can remember in these somatic breathwork sessions, there's a lot of crying, there's a lot of screaming, there's a lot of emotion that literally you're like, what is coming out of me?
Yeah.
Years and years of uncompleted loops of this stagnation that just wants to get out. And so that's why people feel so like light and free afterwards.
Yeah, I know the experience that I had with you in Boston. My mom had passed away, and you had everybody in the room on mats and breathing and focusing and relaxing and just letting go. And all of a sudden, I had this huge swell of energy. It just, in relation to my mom passing away, and just
Yeah.
it was just a great, great experience that I'll never forget. And I thank you for that. Um, we have another question. Then I'll have a question for you on stress. But we got Frank Young coming in here. Frank, you're on with Shannon Northington. What's your question?
Hi, Shannon. I just have a very quick question. I've been thinking about eating better and looking specifically at the keto diet. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah. I have done keto before, and I know people that have done keto. Um, I think it's a great way to go as long as you're going to commit to it forever. Because I think what ends up happening is people do it and they end up seeing the health benefits, they end up losing the weight, but they find it very hard to stick with. And so they end up falling off and then gaining all the weight back. Um, Truly, I mean, if it's something that you really want to do and try, I say go for it. But honestly, a balanced nutrition plan is the way to go. And I know Eric didn't say it, and I was going to say it at the end, but he is giving out a free nutrition consult for everyone that's on this call. You just need to either DM me or DM him, and we would love to do that for you and kind of set up something that's real specific to you and your needs. And if you want that to be keto, it can be keto, but he will also have other suggestions too, depending on your lifestyle.
Shannon, I'm a little bit uneducated on some things. What is a keto diet? I've heard the phrase before.
Oh,
Samantha's mentioned it.
the simplest way to think about it is high protein, low carb. So you're
Okay.
getting your body into a state of ketosis. And
Yeah.
you can actually buy the urine strips that you kind of put under your urine, and you can see whether your body's in ketosis or not if you're trying to get there. But I mean, there's doctors out there. There's actually a fabulous one on Instagram, Dr. Courtney Hunt, that swears by keto diet and sunrise sunset for helping heal many, many ailments. She's actually local here in Arizona. She's incredible. So again, like he was saying, if you're going to do it though, you need someone that's certified, that's taking you through this process. Because
It is. Yep. Correct.
yeah, you get the keto flu, you don't feel good, you're gonna be like, what's wrong with me? I mean, there's a lot more to it.
Shannon, great stuff you dropped today. Just suggestions, tips, information. If people want to follow up with you weeks and months down the line, what's the best way to reach you?
Okay. Honestly, Instagram's probably the best. So Shannon_Northington is my personal page. And then Northington Fit Couple is Eric and I's couple page. Especially for those that are interested in that nutrition consult or want information on the app, we can give you guys the first month free. The app's only $15 a month, and it literally tells you exactly what to do when you go to the gym. It's got over 500 different exercises in there with videos on how to perform. It's a great deal for only $15.
Fantastic.
Make sure you DM us so I can make sure you get your first month free and that consult for free.
Okay, and then you have a breathwork website. Did you want to share that as well?
Yes, that would be shannonsperber.com, and that's where Soul Journey Breathwork lives.
There you go. So just absolutely amazing, amazing content and value that you have and that you lead with and share. I've myself personally experienced it, and I think it's amazing, and that's why I invited you to come speak with us.
Thank you so much, JJ.
I've got one last question for you.
Okay.
I don't think it relates to any field, but I always talk about networking, the importance of relationships. And, for the world that I'm predominantly coming from, which is real estate investment, there are many education groups that are sharing different types of education, short sales, cold calling, raising money, commercial, whatever it happens to be. And each education group has a Facebook community for their membership. And people are joining these groups every single day. Some are new investors, some are very experienced investors, but they're new to social media. And they're coming because that's part of getting the education. They're not necessarily using social media to build their visibility, build their network, build their relationships. From your standpoint as a successful businesswoman, what is the importance of networking and using social media to build one's business, to build relationships and
Yeah.
connect with others?
I mean, it's your business card. It's literally, it's everything now. And like you said, it's relationships are what's going to drive your business. And if if you're sitting all alone and you're not networking and you're not creating those relationships, you really can only go so far. And so I think it's fabulous that you have these groups where people can get together and network, and really feed off of each other, because that's what it's about. And I feel like all of us as entrepreneurs, we're in that field of service anyways. We want to serve and we want to help. And, that creates good karma and good energy. You're helping others and good things are going to start happening for you. So I think it's great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, one of the things I talk about all the time is don't chase the deal, chase a relationship. Don't look for what people could do for you, but see if they resonate with you. See
Right.
if you're resonating with them. And that gets back to the vibe that you're talking about and the essence and the energy that we put off and to truly find people that we connect with. So I really love how everything you spoke with sort of interwove with
Yeah.
what I speak about.
Right. Well, and I think being married to Cody Sperber for 18 years, I'm very used to the craziness of the real estate space and the importance of just connecting and these groups. And so I think it's great. But it's important, I want to leave that message with all of you going into 2025. As important as it is to connect to others, it's more important to connect to yourself. And so really prioritizing you and yourself and your health. Because at the end of the day, without health, we don't have anything. And so in order to create that alignment, you've got to know who you are, what your values are, what you stand for. So people can resonate with you. If you don't know that, they're not going to know that either.
That's fantastic. And I couldn't have so well said. And thank you so much for bringing Eric on with you today and coming to speak with us. Hey, if you guys are watching on YouTube right now, please like Shannon's video. Please put in the comment section what your takeaways were. Uh, she's just dropped some unbelievable value today. If you guys want to connect with me and jump into my networking group, scan the turquoise QR code. It'll take you to my website and you could register. So click the register now button. If you want to see more of the wonderful videos that we have, like Shannon and other of our great guest speakers, of course, none as fantastic as Shannon, but our, excuse me, we have over 300 interviews on my YouTube channel. Scan the purple QR code here and subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow up along with Flipside with JJ and with my group and what we're doing. Just want to help you guys learn how to build your visibility, build your network, build your brand, build your business, how to market yourself on social media, because you don't market your business, you market yourself. And in our group, we're constantly networking and having live breakout rooms where you can engage with other investors from multiple education groups from all over the country. So please look for Shannon Northington on Instagram and look for me by the two QR codes. And Shannon, as far as everybody else, we'll see them in the world of virtual networking, right?
Yes, absolutely. Good luck to you all. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Again, thank you so much, Shannon.